Commissioner Miller, thanks so much for being with us here. Really appreciate it. This week, you called on Governor Abbott to immediately call a special session to deal with the ways to put a check on these big data center developments that we've been seeing all across Texas. Can you explain why you think it is that we need to have an emergency session of the legislature right now instead of waiting until they're in their regular session in January to deal with this? You say the clock's ticking.
The clock is ticking. We don't have time. If we wait until the regular legislative session starts in January, doesn't end until June, the laws won't take effect until September 1st, 2027. That's over a year away. We don't have a year. We got to get on this now. Electricity, our highest peak load was in 2023 in the summer. We used 85 gigawatts. Just the current one, if we don't allow any more, just the current data centers, if they all go online, almost 500 gigawatts, more than 5 times our capacity. That doggone hunt. We can't do that. We got to do something now. We can't wait over a year to do something. I first called on Governor Abbott to do a 1-year moratorium. And that would have allowed the legislature to meet, address this problem, and get some perimeters around it, some guardrails. He didn't do that. He did a 6-month moratorium, which gets him past his election day. And, he's thinking about himself, not the people, because that doesn't do any good. We still don't get anything done until September 2027. So the only move left to address this in a timely fashion is a special legislative session, a 30-day session. We could enact the laws within 2 weeks of that. So in 6 weeks, we could have some guidelines. We could have some oversight, some regulations, some guardrails around this phenomenon problem. We won the AI race. China shut down at 475 data centers. At this rate, we're going to have over 5,000 in the United States. I don't think we're going to lose the AI race. So it's time to slow down, get it right. They're taking all of our water, depleting our water resources. We're going to overload our grid. They're taking up our valuable farmland. They're driving up real estate rates unnecessarily. They're driving up rental rates in these towns where these data centers are going up. There's a lot of problems with this. They need addressing. We just can't turn a blind eye to it anymore. So special session is the only weapon we've got left.
So, Commissioner Miller, the governor last year was a big booster of these data centers. He said that Texas was the epicenter of AI. But just this month, he called on legislators to do some things here, to put some checks in place and regulate energy and water usage, and to remove that sales tax that has encouraged so many of these big that sales tax break for these big developments that has encouraged so many of them and has cost this state so much money. So we have seen a change in tone there from the governor on this issue.
Well, the governor recruited him here. He gave him, $1.3 billion in tax abatements. Took several $1 million from him for his campaign. If he really wants to do what he's saying, he needs to call a special session, because the legislature can't do it on their own. They're going to have to meet and pass some regulations on this industry. And September of 2027 is too late. So he needs to take his own advice, call a special. If he really wants to do what he just said, then he's going to have to call a special session so these guys can get to work and do what the governor's asking them to do.
So, Commissioner Miller, this was one of the more, I think, interesting calls that I've seen from a top-ranked Republican in this state aimed at the governor in this state. And I think the most pointed reference in here was, you said, is Governor Abbott genuinely committed to slowing this unchecked expansion, or is he sending a signal to data center developers, their investors, and campaign contributors that they still have a window to accelerate projects so they can be grandfathered in before the legislature has the opportunity to act? That's not very subtle there. Are you alleging that that's what the governor's been doing here?
Well, right now, short of calling a special session, that's exactly what he's doing. It's a wink and a nod to his campaign supporters that they're going to be grandfathered in. He's going to give them plenty of time to get done what they need to do. The only way that you get around that and stop it is a special legislative session. He even told the ERCOT, to approve these electric connections in batches. Quit doing them one by one. Just put them all in there and approve them all at once, in batches. So he's talking out both sides. He's actually burning the candle at both ends, and his fingers are going to get burnt in the middle because they're going to meet and he's going to have to pay the price. He can't play both ends and win on both counts. It's just not going to happen. So hopefully he'll call a special session so we can act on this.
Can you walk us through this, because most of us are not involved in politics, from where you see it, from the perch where you see it at such a high level here in the state and from the inside? How much campaign money gets thrown around by these big developers?
Well, Abbott, that's the facts. Abbott recruited him, gave him $1.3 billion in tax incentives, took several $1 million in campaign contributions. Everybody loved the idea of AI data centers coming into about 9 or 10 months ago. Survey said 70% of the people want a moratorium. Don't want them. 80% of rural Texans hate them. They don't want them at all. No moratorium. They just don't want any more of them. They're taking all the water and driving up electric rates and rental rates and taking up good farmland. So he saw those polls. He's a politician. He knows that he's going to lose an election if he keeps promoting AI data centers. So he's done an about face, but it's kind of with a wink and a nod, short of a special legislative session. These AI data centers keep rolling, unfettered, unchained, uncontrolled, at least until September of 2027.
Now, I reached out to the governor's office today about this. I specifically talked about that paragraph of yours that I just read out to you there, and they didn't make any comment about that. I asked them about your idea about a special session. They didn't comment about that either. They just referred me back to his previous comments from earlier this month, where he's calling for more restrictions to be placed when the legislature meets again in January. Does that surprise you?
No, that's exactly, he's passing the buck. He doesn't really want to do it, or he'd do it now. He'd do it today. He knows that the legislature, and it's going to be tough. It'd be lucky if they pass anything, actually, because these data centers got lots of money. They've hired lots of lobbyists. They bought off a lot of politicians, just like they gave several $1 million to Abbott. They've given several $1 million to other candidates, and they like that campaign money rolling in. And it's hard, for them, some of them, not for me. I always try to do the right thing no matter what it costs. And he's just kicking the can down the road, hoping he can get reelected. But I think it's going to blow up in his face if he doesn't call his special session. His campaign is going to be in jeopardy. The Republicans should own this issue, not the Democrats. The Democrats are on this issue. They're right on this issue. They want to stop the data centers. Republicans need to lead on this. We need to protect our consumers. We need to protect our rural Texans. We're not doing it. And we're going to cede that to the Democrats, and we're going to lose a lot of elections in the fall.
Can you talk a little bit about what this is like in rural Texas? Aren't there some people who like this? They're getting a lot of money for their land. Some of these municipalities or local governments there are getting a lot of money in tax base there. Don't some people like this?
Well, the locals are given tax abatements, so they're not really collecting the taxes. They hope to somewhere down the road. Individuals selling land at high prices, those individuals like it, but their neighbors hate it, and the community hates it, and the town hates it, and the county hates it. And commissioners are going to be thrown out of office on their ear for allowing this to happen. So will city councilmen that are backing this. This is the most serious subject in Texas right now. Screwworms are hot in rural Texas, but nothing's hotter and more debated. They had a town hall meeting in Lubbock yesterday, expecting 500 to 700 people. I think it was close to 2,000 showed up for it. So that's the kind of reaction we're getting.
So are you getting an earful every time you're out in rural Texas right now about this issue?
Two issues that take up my whole day: screwworms and data centers. That's the two issues that everybody's concerned with.
And not in that order?
No, sir. Data centers are by far in the front.
Interesting. Did you try to reach out to the governor personally about this to tell him, hey, why don't you call a special session? Why'd you choose to do it this way where you did it publicly?
Well, I always reach out to the governor, reach to his staff. I've never even got a meeting in 12 years with the man. He won't meet with me. He won't reply to my emails, never returns a phone call. Zilch, crickets. I doubt that he does anything different. It's just like when you ask him questions, they didn't answer. So he never answers other statewide elected officials. He tries to, blow it off and hope no one will notice.
How odd is it to you that this completely aligns you with the Democratic nominee, Clayton Tucker, who is up against Republican Nate Sheets to take your seat in the November election? Tucker's made this a central issue in his campaign. Does that feel strange to you that you're right there with him?
I was on this issue a year ago, long before Tucker even thought about filing to run for office. So if you'll remember, way back late last spring, early summer, I came out with agriculture freedom zones. So we could corral these data centers from taking up our agriculture farmland, our very best farmland. So I didn't join the Democrats, but they're joining me because we're right. We're right on the issue. This is it's a nonpartisan issue. It's doing what's right for Texas. So no, I haven't joined in. I'm not helping the Democrats. I'm not going to campaign for the Democrats. I'm not going to endorse any Democrats, but I am going to fight for Texans and especially rural Texans against these overburdensome data centers that are taking their water and electricity in their land.
So nonpartisan issue, you say, but you're warning your party that the Democrats are right on this one and could make some hay out of this in November.
Oh, they will. We better get on the bandwagon and get this stopped. And our leader, Greg Abbott, has the power to do it. No one else has the power to do that but Greg Abbott.
So you put out this letter to him saying, call this special session now, if not yesterday. Have you haven't gotten any response from the governor, but have you gotten response from anybody else in state government?
Well, I think this is about my 15th or 20th interview, so it's getting a lot of attention. I talk to legislators all the time, constant contact with them. We still work with them every day. I'm going to work up to the last minute of the last day. I'm doing my job up until January the 1st. Believe me, I'm still working hard, and we are in constant contact with the rest of the Texas delegations.
Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller, thanks as always for the conversation. I'm not going to keep you from that inviting pool right there behind you at the ranch. That's one of the best shots I think I've ever seen in a virtual interview.
Maybe some other time. I've still got lots of work to do today.
Thank you, sir.
God bless.